EM Acoustics started in 2002, founded by myself and Ed. Ed and I have known each other for the best part of 3 decades. As to why we started, the technical side of performance was always something that interested us, even as school children. And it was something we wanted to try and get involved in.
In a way, starting out, you have a sort of naivety, which is your greatest weapon, really, because, nothing stultifies progress like fear, and you have none when you're young. So you just think, yeah, why not? Although DSP and technology was becoming more common, the focus generally was on the speaker itself. That was something we could get our teeth into. We didn't have the budget to do anything to do with computers in those days. So the only thing you could do was get a table saw out and build the box properly and see where you got with it. And it caught a few people's attention, and we've stuck with it ever since.
EM, it really is a unique manufacturer of loudspeakers. In fact, it's a unique manufacturer and a standout manufacturer of loudspeakers, and there are many reasons for that. When Ed and Mike started out, they wanted to strip away what was increasingly becoming rather fashionable, unfortunately, which was over-processing. And it was incredibly attractive to me as a designer right from the outset that the boys were getting the design of the loudspeakers right, they were getting the design of the components right, and they were getting the design of the crossovers right. Now, of course, the loudspeakers themselves, as the company's developed, have got more complicated. As materials technologies developed, the componentry's become more advanced, and of course, a certain amount of processing has to come into play. But we're still dealing with the fundamentals first.
Originally, as a company, we were broadly a design and then assembly company. In 2014, we started work on our own woodwork factory, and that has expanded and grown, bringing more of the process in-house. The factory now starts with flat sheets of plywood at one end, goes through woodwork machining and assembly, preparation and painting, and we do circuitry assembly in-house, and then final assembly and QC is all done here. What's good about doing woodwork ourselves is we can minimize the amount of waste. We try and source components and parts locally where possible. It's not always possible, but anything we can get in a shorter distance with less traveling time is obviously a much better approach if we can.
I don't really have a set out process, but what I would say is it's very led by material science, essentially the mechanics of making sounds. There's a type of quality which is quite enticing in terms of just build. In the end, this is a well-made object that will last, and if you look after it, it'll look after you. And as Duke Ellington said, if it sounds good, it is good.
We're very lucky with the workforce that we've got here. Everyone on the team here is a very valued member of the company. We've taken great pains to try and be as local as we can. For the first little while, it was just Ed and myself, and a couple of key people joined us very early on, but we're lucky that a lot of our staff have been with us a very long time.
Our potential for growth, whether that's within a segment or across the industry, is huge, actually. I mean, we're strong in a number of areas like theatre, corporate market, but we really are looking at expanding our distribution.
Finding the right people is always going to take a little longer, but that's what we want. We want to find the right people to build relationships that are going to last for decades rather than months.
And in terms of us as a company, I think it's almost limitless. We have the products to cover anything from a church installation through to a nightclub, through to large-scale touring.
It's always been a logical choice in certain circumstances to use EM. We've gone from being a logical choice to a compelling choice, and that's a huge leap.
In terms of achievements, bringing people into the factory, when we had the open day for the R5, we had over 100 people in during the week, and that was incredible.
Watching the reaction of designers and engineers listening to the reference series has been quite extraordinary. It's an amazing box, and it's an incredibly powerful tool.
Probably the most standout moment for me at the time would have been the very first show at the Albert Hall. Since that point, obviously doing Glastonbury, it's the festival that everybody aspires to. It's the big one, it's the best one in the world.
For me, it was being stood up on the front of house platform with Mike and watching thousands of people singing their lungs out, dancing away. There was a granddad dancing with some little ones, and they're all just having a wonderful time. And they're not looking at us, they're looking at what's going on over there. I just thought, well, that's what this is all for. It's not for nice lines on a computer screen or anything else. It's to bring happiness to as many people as possible, as easily as possible. And if no one ever knows my name, then I've done my job right.